I love this time of year. It's nice behaviour, goodwill to all men and all that nice stuff. The other day, I saw a man who gave someone his credit cards, his mobile phone and a handful of cash. And all this other guy had was a knife.
You wrong for that. Bitch, it wasn't me because I let somebody try to mug me. Like, happy holidays.
True crime.
True crime.
True crime. True crime.
True crime.
Your true crime. You want the boring stuff? Shit. You in the wrong place.
I hear shots! Okay, ma'am, calm down. What kind of shots?
I was branching out. That's when the cannibalism started. Eating of the heart and the arm muscle.
People say Ted Bundy didn't show any emotion. There must be something in that. I showed emotion. What people said, see, you really can get violent and angry.
As long as I can reach in your mind and control your fear because you're a coward, I'm going to play any game and I can play on you all the way to the White House.
The cops knew who I was and let me become a serial killer.
Making me feel that they were a part of me.
Give me the fire department or the police or the paramedics. Somebody. I don't care. You decide.
Shots fired. Shots fired.
Well, we ain't like everybody else.
Hello and welcome to True Crime, part of the You Run Podcast Network and YouRunPodcast.com. My name is Scott.
And I'm Heather.
And we are your hosts twice a month as we take you through the criminal underbelly of cases picked by you. There are loads of ways to get involved in the show and give your thoughts and your opinions and just generally have a bit of interaction and a bit of fun with us. Easiest way to do that is follow us at You Run Podcast on X, Instagram, TikTok, Thread, / YouTube. I think that's it. Yeah. And if you want to follow Heather, you can do that. She's Wednesday Wine and Horror on Instagram. Go and do that. Go and spam Heather.
Yeah, sure, whatever. Just don't send me any pictures of your private parts, and we'll be good.
No, don't send them to me.
That's
either.
not the kind of package that I want to open on Christmas.
The thing is, it's always bugged me. At what point does a guy sit there and go, "Do you know what? I've not spoken to this woman before. What she wants to see is my dick."
I don't understand. This is the thing. This is the thing before we get started on this case, because this case it's not much. So we're kind of talking shit in between. When a guy does that, first of all, I can't even imagine what their thoughts are. But part of me is like, all penises are ugly. Like, what is wrong with you? Do you really think, and I'm not taking a jab at anybody, but come on, human anatomy. Do you really think that a woman wants to open her phone and look at something that looks like
and this is why we're now on YouTube.
That's the balls.
Heather just done an impression of a penis. If you're not
watching, I mean, they're so aggressive, Scott. I mean, hello, I don't have to tell you, you're male, you know, but like they're so aggressive that like if I were to open my phone and you're like, oh, holy cock. What is that? But like, it's so gross. And I never understood why dudes would do that. No. I don't understand. Please stop doing that to women. Unless it's like, if you want it and you and your woman friend or man friend, whoever, and if y'all are into that, cool, go ahead.
Yeah.
Not unsolicited is what we're talking about.
No, don't send random dick pics. That's not cool. However, if someone wants to send me random boob pics, I'm quite happy.
No, you're not.
No, I'm not. I'm really not.
Ooh,
anyway.
You're trying to die before the holidays. Anyway.
If you want to get in touch with the show, you can. It's yourunpodcast@gmail.com. Or you can send us an audio message wherever social media will allow. Look for the microphone in DMs, push it down, hold it, speak.
Do it.
Let go, and that will record a message and we will play that on the air and me and Heather will talk about what you've said. If you decide you like the show, be sure to subscribe wherever you may be, whether you're watching on YouTube or listening on Spotify. Leave us a 5-star review. That really genuinely helps the show more than anything you could imagine. And yeah, that's about it. That's my spiel. That's my sales pitch for the show.
We do the same thing every time. Like, you guys know, like, if you want to follow us, follow us. Don't send us private pooter tooter pictures and wiener diener pictures. We don't want that stuff. I don't want it. Scott doesn't want boob pictures. He's saying that, but let me tell y'all something. Lisa will kill him.
Yeah,
and I can't host this show by myself because I don't have time.
there would be one final episode. It would be the murder of Scott. Yeah,
she'll cut your ding dong off.
She would, and hit me with it. It's almost Christmas, and we gave you a list of festive crimes and murders to pick between. And you went through these, and you selected the most horrific Christmas spree of killings you could possibly find. It's been a while since I've said it. This case nearly done me. I had to stop multiple times while going through this case and
it's
take
senseless.
a break.
That's why whenever I was reading through, and to be honest with you, you can read one article on it, guys, and like you've got that. It's literally that's it. Not to be disrespectful to the victims, but like literally that's it, because it was just like a really quick killing spree.
Yeah.
And so like I knew it was going to bother you, and it bothers me, especially with the second victim. Like I'm like,
yeah,
I don't understand people. They're fucking garbage. And this is one of our worst cases to me. It's one of the worst ones because it's senseless.
It's senseless, and it's
no motive.
No, and it's brutal. It is the Christmas Killers, who are more commonly known as the Downtown Posse, and they are guilty of the Dayton Christmas killings of 1992.
Dayton, Ohio, the birthplace of aviation, known as Ohio's Gem City. Dayton has a rich history built on innovation and invention. It's also a city hard hit with rampant drugs, violence, mayhem, and murder. And in 1992, a terrifying and unrelenting killing spree thrust Dayton into a modern-day purge. No one knows who will be next as detectives race against the clock to stop a group of bloodthirsty killers. Once their identities and ages are revealed, a shocking reality sweeps through the city. And Dayton's Christmas killings tarnish the city's shine forever.
Keen's three-day murder spree in 1992 left 5 people dead. Relatives of his victims say he's never showed any remorse for the killings. In 1993, then 20-year-old Marvalis Keen was being taken to prison after being convicted of murdering 5 people.
Any remorse, Marvalis? Any remorse? Are you sorry? Are you scared to go to the big house now? Are you scared at all?
During the sentencing phase of his trial, Keen and his mother took the stand.
I know he has to be punished, but I ask you, I beg of you, don't take his life.
Ever someone that deserved the death penalty is Marvalis Keen.
Christmas Eve, Christmas, and the day after are 3 days in 1992 few people in the Miami Valley will ever forget, especially now retired Dayton detective Doyle Burke.
As we kept getting more and more victims with the same type of MO and the same type of ammunition used, it was clear that we had a group of serial killers.
Crime scenes included a home, a car, and a phone booth, where the gang of 6 made off with a pair of tennis shoes and 50 cents.
This was a true definition of the term spree killers. It was fun. They enjoyed it. There was no reason. No one gave any resistance to them. It was just something for
the gang finally turned on itself, killing 2 of the members, leaving 2 men and 2 women to face charges. Heather Matthews and then 20-year-old Marvalis Keen were the only adults.
The first time you shot, where'd you have the gun? In her mouth. Then where did you shoot her? I think in the side and then in the head.
Burke says Keen never showed remorse, and his lethal injection is the family's only shot at closure.
And I don't expect that the execution of Marvalis Keen will prevent the next Marvalis Keen. But it's a punishment that this Marvalis Keen, he needs that, and society needs that, and I'm all for it.
But they may never get an answer to that single question, why?
Because it still makes no sense.
As we've already said, this case is rough. It is really rough. However, this case is not big enough to fill this episode an extended cut. So for the first time ever, we don't have an episode Well, we do. We've got something really special lined up. Me and Heather have put our heads together, and we have a holly jolly, very festive, very fun episode for the end of the year. I'm not telling you more than that. Tune
we
in
put our heads, these heads, not those heads.
Not those heads.
I don't have one, but I only have this one big noggin on my neck. So there you
go. So we've got a very special episode on the 15th. Make sure you tune into that. It's not related to this case at all. In fact, it's not really related to anything. It's just going to be a fun
It's going to be fun. Let's say, we don't want to say lighthearted because it's true crime, but we're definitely not. It's not, in essence, yes, I want to say it's going to be lighthearted, right, Scott? It's not going to be like as serious. Like, it's still crimes. Okay. Still not okay.
Yeah.
It's going to be funny. It's going to be funny.
Yeah, it is. And me and Heather will both be drinking wine on that episode, so it's going to be highly entertaining.
I'm drinking some wine now, and this is not good. I shouldn't have got that kind.
On this episode, we're going to give you the facts of this case. We're going to talk about the aftermath and what led to the crimes and just give you the full rundown. This is a hard case to go through, so if you need a moment to prepare yourself, push pause, go and sit down somewhere, get yourself a stiff drink because you may need it for this episode.
Yeah.
The self-proclaimed downtown posse was headed up by Morales Keene. I will get Morales, who was 19 at the time. The other members were his girlfriend, who was 16-year-old Laura Taylor, DeMarcus Smith, who was 19, and his girlfriend, Heather Matthews, who was 20.
Yeah.
The posse of people went on a killing spree starting on Christmas Eve 1992 that ended with their being captured on Boxing Day of the same year.
So Boxing Day, what is, in case people don't know what you're talking about on that?
Yeah, Boxing Day is a thing in the UK. It's the 26th, so they went on a killing spree from the 24th.
the day after Christmas.
The day after Christmas. We call it Boxing Day. I'm not entirely sure why.
No, just saying, because we have a Brit and we got a Southern over here. So we have to, obviously we have different traditions in the United States versus the UK. And I was wondering about that, and I was like, that has to be something UK based, obviously.
Yeah, I thought that was a worldwide thing, but obviously not.
I've never heard of it. The only thing I know, after Christmas, is other than New Year's is coming, but other than that, I don't know. I could be wrong.
So we get 2 holidays. So if Christmas Day falls on a Saturday and Boxing Day falls on a Sunday, we get the Monday and the Tuesday off work.
Yeah, that has to be a UK thing. But anyways, we'll look into that later. I don't fucking know. I don't know.
The first victim was 34-year-old Joseph Wilkerson. He worked for General Motors. He was a upstanding, fairly respectable guy. The group used the 2 girls to try and seduce him. So what they done is they went to his house and the 2 girls offered him sex, and he let them into his home. The girls led him to the bedroom where they would basically threaten him with a gun, tied him to the headboard with electrical cables before letting the boys in. Once the boys were in, they ransacked the house and they were robbing him. They discovered a .32 caliber gun, which was used to shoot him in the chest when they didn't want to leave any victims. A second .25 caliber gun was used to shoot him in the head, and it's believed that this was done after he was already dead. This guy was thinking he was going to have a Christmas threesome and got shot instead. Remember, if it sounds too good to be true, guys, it probably is. And also, one of these girls is 16. What the fuck is this guy thinking?
I was literally about to bring that up. The fact that this victim, still he's a victim, but he's 34 years old and he's totally fine with a child.
Yeah.
At 20, you're still a child to me. My daughter's almost 21. She's still a child to me. I can't imagine the fact that he was cool with it. He did not deserve to die by any means. Now he didn't, but it's still weird. And who knows, maybe she looked, I saw the picture of the girl, but she still looks young. So I would just say she could have said she was 18. You don't know. We don't know what their conversation was, but
no,
hopefully let's act. Maybe he thought she was at least 18, which is still kind of gross. But
it's still, I'm in my 40s now, and I spend, if me and Lisa go out and we go anywhere, I spend a lot of time looking around, and I'll look around in a bar and I am old enough to be everyone in his dad. That's
basically you are, because I have almost a 21-year-old daughter, and I'm 40. We're the same age, and it's No, y'all don't be sleeping on underage people.
No, definitely don't do that. After this murder, Joseph's house would become basically like a central point. It was basically a base of operations for their upcoming murders. They partied in his house. They even took his car. So they took his car was now their vehicle to drive around in. It's insane. Like a home invasion is something that is so scary to me because it's something that is a real thing that can happen so easily.
It's one of my biggest fears, to be honest with you. Like, we're going to talk a little, like, get honest with Heather, after dark kind of shit. But seriously, home invasion movies, I hate. And that is one of my biggest fears. Like, I'm not really scared of a whole lot, but, like, to think if you're sleeping, you're vulnerable, like, it fucking freaks me out. We have a security system that I'm like, I got, like, 10 locks on my front door. Bitch, try to break in.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying, like, that is one of those things, because you're vulnerable. And you don't, like, if you're asleep, that, you know what I'm saying? Like, not trying to scare anybody, but, like, that legit is, like, why I probably don't sleep, honestly.
That honestly is scarier than any other concept for horror movies. It's something that's so real, and if it happens, you have such little time to react or do anything. And if you make one mistake, that's
you
it.
You can die.
Exactly that.
Ugh. Anyway.
The second mum was a young mum, Danita Gannett. She was 18 and she had a 2-year-old daughter at home being looked after by her parents. At the time that they attacked her, she was using a payphone. We done this a lot in the 90s. People, everyone who just went, why has she not got a mobile? In 1992.
It's 92, honeys. Come on.
It wasn't a thing.
No.
My kids find it wild that we had no mobile phones. Like, wild. They don't get it.
I think that whole generation does, and it's funny. There's still a working payphone, not here in town, but like a little further away, like a little town 30 minutes from us. And I think I took a picture with it because I was like, what the fuck? There's an actual working. Who uses? Nobody would use those anymore. But
no, the only people who use payphones now are drug dealers. I'm convinced of that. Yeah,
well, you can't trace them.
No, this is true. The group approached her and she had quite a nice jacket and nice shoes on. So they demanded that she gave them those and her money. Danita fully complied, didn't question anything, gave her her shoes, gave her coat, gave her bag. They then proceeded to shoot her 5 times.
Disgusting.
She survived the initial attack, but she died on the way to the hospital. There are 2 things that really bother me about this killing spree, and this bit in particular. She had a 2-year-old at home, and it's fucking Christmas Eve. Who goes out and shoots people on Christmas Eve? And 2, what they took from her is a jacket, a pair of shoes, and a backpack that had 50 cents in cash.
Exactly. They didn't even get that much money overall when you start getting into the victims.
No.
Like, they didn't even get any cash. Not that it would make it worth it, because it definitely does not. But the thing is like, this is even more of a reason why it's so senseless. It's fucking senseless. Like, you shot a mom.
Yeah, and I felt
so crazy.
I felt emotions with this case as strong as I did when we done Dahmer and when we done Ed Gein. This really got to me and bugged me. I think probably more because of the time of year it is.
And Christmas, bruh. It's Christmas.
Yeah, I know crime happens all year round, but don't be killing people at Christmas. What is wrong with these people?
My thing is, real quick, is like with Dahmer or Gein or somebody really big, these big serial killers like that.
They took Christmas off?
Well, they took Christmas off. Yeah, no holidays. But the thing is that they almost had some kind of sick, twisted motive in why they did it. But these were like kids. If you look at their ages, they were 19, 20, 16, and 17. They're children. Yeah. Like, you were fucking bored. Where were your parents? That's my thing is like where I start being one of those like Karens where I'm like, the parent. It's the fucking parents' fault. Because like, where were you at?
Yeah, we'll get to that.
An unstable? Yeah, I know we are, but still, it makes me mad because this was senseless.
Not satisfied with ending 2 lives on Christmas Eve, the group wanted to find a third. The third person on their hit list was 21-year-old Jeffrey Wright, and this is Heather's ex-boyfriend, who's 20. He was invited to Morales's apartment, And they spent some time there, and they had a bit of a party. They had a couple of drinks. And there was another 2 gang members there, but we'll get to them later.
Yeah.
It was DeMarcus who opened fire, shooting him in the legs 4 times. I find what happens next a absolute Christmas miracle. So Jeffrey has been shot 4 times in the legs. He managed to run to a neighbour's home to seek refuge, and he survived the attack. After they'd done this, they then returned to Joseph's house and spent the night there.
Because they're fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Stupidest criminals. It's like that show. They have a show that comes on, I don't know what channel. It's like Dumbest Criminals or whatever. And it's like, yeah, why are you killing people? You literally have no motive. You got 50 cents and then you did.
But
I don't understand.
But why would you do it in your own apartment? So they've done this in one of their own apartments. Like,
they're stupid. They're children.
Yeah.
You have teenage children. You understand that they don't have the social and the mentality to make like those type of decisions.
I would like to think that my children are clever enough that if they were ever going to commit a heinous crime, they wouldn't do it in their own living room. I hope they don't commit a heinous crime. I want to clarify.
No, that's another fear is like your children killing you guys. I'm scared. I'm always like, I'm gonna lock my door when I go to night because like what if it's like we took their video games and like they shot you? That's happened. We'll do a true crime case on that one day, guys, if you vote for it. But like if it ever gets pulled, but fuck them kids.
Yeah. Remember, whatever you do with your children will come back to bite you. They're either going to potentially kill you or they will choose the nursing home that you spend your final days in.
I ain't staying on this. I'll shit on their damn bed like Emperor did.
In this disgusting and cruel world we live in, Christmas Day can be deadly, which I find incredibly sad.
Yes.
If you're a killer and you listen to this podcast, maybe you listen for research. I don't know. If you're listening, have Christmas Day off for the love of God. Do not work on Christmas Day if killing is your job.
Yeah, so ridiculous. It's so ridiculous in general, but like, no one thinks about these Christmas slayings and these crimes happening around this time of the year. You think about robberies, right? You think about people, because that happens more often. But it's disgusting. I don't even have any words for that.
No. Their next victim they selected, this is on Christmas Day, was 19-year-old Richard Maddox. He's the ex-boyfriend of Laura. Laura called Richard and convinced him to go and meet with her. I have such an issue with these killers, the fact they committed these crimes, not only on Christmas Day, but Richard obviously had feelings for this girl. So much so that on Christmas Day, he turned around to his mum and dad. He lived at home, turned around to his mum and dad and went, I'm going out for a couple of hours. I'm going to see Laura. I may be able to fix this. And they go in Richard's car and they drive around for a while. And the rest of the group are tailing them. Richard was not stupid, and these guys were. They weren't the hardest to spot.
Super stupid.
When he spotted that he was being tailed, he hit the accelerator. What Laura did next absolutely blew my mind, as she pulled out a gun and shot him in the temple while he was driving.
Yeah, and you would think, like, so you want him to wreck the car and you'd be dead too? She was only 16 though, right? She's the one that's only 16.
Yeah, but there's no self-preservation there at all. Like,
no, there's not.
She managed to jump out of the car before it crashed into a tree, and she walked away from the accident. She didn't survive this attack.
No, obviously.
Thankfully, this was their only victim on Christmas Day. What they'd done for the rest of the day is they drove around for a bit and they went and parked up by a local ATM. Their plan was to rob whoever went to the ATM and make them empty out their account so they could go party. Again, points to how stupid they are. Nobody goes to an ATM on Christmas Day because all the shops are closed.
And they're at home, probably for the majority they're at home with their family. Or just fucking at home by themselves, whatever.
Yeah, but they're not going, I'm going to go to the ATM and take out some cash because I can't spend it because everything's closed. They slept in the car that night outside this ATM.
Well, good for them.
Yeah. Boxing Day is where it really got out of hand. This is, for me, where it took another step up. The group headed to a local mini market. Laura went in first, and she was followed by the two boys coming after. And she went in to kind of scope out the place. Working behind the counter that day was 38-year-old mother of three, Sarah Abraham, who that morning was left home. She was given a picture by her daughter before she left home, and she went to work and she pinned that on the notice board behind her. Morales shot Sarah twice in the head, and she died 5 days later in hospital. At the time this robbery happened, there were other customers in the mini market as well. There was Jones Pettis. Jones was shot in the hand and the stomach while they robbed the store, and thankfully he survived. There was also the most wily coyote guy in the world, and this guy's story actually made me smile because he's so clever. So there was a 71-year-old man, Jimmy Thompson, who was fired at, and what he done is he hit the deck like he had been hit by a grenade, and he laid perfectly still.
That's what you should do.
Incredibly clever guy, and as horrendous as this is, I take solace in the fact that two people walked away from this. The eldest out of everyone walked away without a mark on him because he fought quickly.
I've heard of stuff, not that we're not talking about this, but like there are school shootings and things that we hope you guys don't have to ever worry about that in the UK, but in the United States, it's fucking ridiculous. But that's another fear of mine that's beyond, we're not getting into it. But anyhow, I've always heard and read, like, if that happens in mass casualty thing, it's like, play dead. Just lay there, like, lay your face down. Because, like, if you think about it, they're probably not going to be checking each individual person, right? I'm not saying it's cool, but, like, if you have some chance of survival, like, I would do it. I would play dead. I would just lay there and be still and, like, because they think if they killed everybody, right, then you can probably survive. It's horrible to think that, but save yourself.
It is, and maybe at some point we need to do a poll for school shootings because it is such a big problem in the US. It's something that I think you and me need to talk about.
Let me tell you something. It is a reason that I can understand why anybody that lives in the United States would move to another country where they don't even know what the fuck any of that is. They're like, what?
Yeah, I mean,
it's scary. I have two kids in school.
Yeah, we get crimes in school. We get lots of school stabbings, but we don't get that mass shooter. It's a completely different, and I couldn't imagine that fear because that would terrify me on a daily basis. Really would.
Yeah, it's stressful.
This robbery raised a total of $44 from the till. I can't hate this case as much as I fucking hate it, and this little posse of pussies as well really annoy
that's
me.
really what they are. It's just like beat their ass.
It's cowardly what they're doing.
It's ridiculous.
And all murder is cowardly to an extent, but sometimes there are reasons behind it. Like I can understand a crime of passion. I can understand the issues that led to Jeffrey Dahmer committing the crimes he did. I understand the build up to it. With this, when we get to it, the build up isn't that fucking bad.
There's nothing. It's literally like we're just killing. Yeah. Boredom? Question mark?
Yeah, we're going to talk about that in a minute.
I can't.
Now, I mentioned earlier there was two other members of the gang. So there's actually 6 members in the downtown posse. The other two being Marvin Washington, who was 18, and Wendy Cottrell, who was 16. What is it with men hanging around with 16-year-old girls? I don't get it.
I'm going to say what I just said, but it's like my brother is, how old am I? 40. My brother's like 30, I don't know, 32, 33. I can't remember how old he is. But anyway, like he has a wife that is like she's like 21, but they like met when she was like 17 or 18. I don't care. Y'all can fuck him. I don't care anyway.
Yeah.
I said what I said. I just don't get it either. I think it is, to be honest with you, my personal opinion on that real quick is that when a man, typically, if they're not like pedophilic or something, which I don't think that my brother is, I'm just saying, I think it has to do with a control thing. They're like, well, if I date this girl that's like 18, even 18, whatever, like they feel like that person doesn't have as much life experience. So you can kind of just like control them in a way.
Yeah. See,
not saying every 18-year-old is stupid. They're not. There's some that probably are smart, but at the same time, it's the vulnerability. It's the not having the life skills yet. You haven't dated a whole lot of people probably. And it's just all of that. And we still always make fun of, like, I literally am like, why do you have a child bride? Which I'm not on good terms with them anyway. So they're not going to listen to this. And even if they did, love you.
The thing is, like, when I split up with my ex-wife before I met Lisa, I had a period of, I don't know, a year or so when I was single and I was dating.
It happens.
And I dated girls who were like 22, 23. And I'm going to say something now that may be a bit of a hot take, but I found everyone under the age of 30 fucking insane, like mental cases. I couldn't cope
100%.
with the level of drama that younger people create. I was like, I don't have time or the energy for any of this bullshit.
I went through the same thing. Like, it's the same thing with men or women. Like, I had my little streak too, where it was like, I casually dated. It happens, but then you're like, we're not on the same level. Like, our brains do not work. Like, you are like, and my thing is now, my husband is a few years younger than me, but he's only like 4 years younger than me. I'm 40. He's 36. So to me, that's not a big deal. But it's like, now I think about it, like, if I dated a 20-year-old, dude, it's like dating my kid. I could not.
No, I couldn't. It's weird.
Not that much younger. I don't mind a few years younger, but like, y'all, I ain't got time to train nobody. I'm not doing it.
According to Heather's testimony, they believed that these two were going to basically implicate them, obviously, in the shooting that happened at the apartment because they were there. But they were also worried that they would then, during that questioning process with the police, they would implicate them in the other murders that they'd committed. So they decided to kill off all their potential witnesses. So they killed Sarah in the mini market and then headed out and went and picked up Wendy and Marvin. After they picked them up, they stopped at a market and bought some beer and wine. This shows how fucking stupid they are. They robbed a store that sells beer and wine and took $44. They then used the $44 that they took
to go buy
stuff they could have stole from where they were 10 minutes. Fuck these guys.
They're so stupid. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's just like, I don't even understand the point of this. This is so insanely pointless.
Yeah.
I don't even know.
They drove around for a while until Morales said that he needed to go take a pee. They pulled up a gravel path. When they got out of the gravel path, everyone got out of the car. And you've got Marvin and Wendy have kind of gone, what's going on here? They pulled them out of the car by gunpoint. They walked them round the corner behind a mound of dirt where they executed them both. These are their friends.
They're just, but like at this point, I think it's one of those things where it just spiraled and it was like, well, we've already done this many crimes, so we just might as well continue. You're going to get caught. Are you fucking stupid? Come on, even in 92, you were going to get caught.
And the thing is, they didn't even discover these bodies until after they'd been questioned and when they were put into their cells that night. It wasn't until that night. They didn't find these bodies until the 27th.
Yeah. It's, again, I almost just feel like I have to blankly stare at myself. Ooh, look at me. Because I don't know what to say. I know. I don't know what to say, Scott. It's just like so ridiculous because these people are like, it's like if you had a gang of children that were like, I'm really fucking bored today. That's, why is the 20-year-old Heather hanging out with 16-year-old Laura and then DeMarcus and then Marvalis or whatever his name is? And it's like weird because their ages are a little different, but the 20-year-old Heather is like basically an adult.
Yeah. And the thing is,
why is she hanging out with these people? I don't get it.
The whole thing about this is a lot of this was actually spurred on by Laura. Laura, the youngest of the group, was
the 16-year-old.
Yeah, so Morales gets told that if you read anything about this, it's told that he was the ringleader. But
it's not really him.
It's really not, and you're going to find out it's not now. So throughout their killing spree, they've been stealing cars. So they had obviously the car they took from Joseph's house, then they swapped into another car, and they've been swapping the plates. So they've been putting Joseph's plates on every car they stole or every car they used to throw off police. It was doing this that actually led to their arrest. So they robbed a woman at a local gas station, stealing her Dodge Shadow and swapping the plates. The woman survived because they told her to get out of the car and stand still. She got out of the car and run for her life. Good for her.
Yeah, shit. Yeah, I would too.
Yeah, and she reported the theft straight away to the police, which put police had started to pin things together, but they hadn't. Like, this has happened so quick. Like, this is how, where this happened, there's like 3 killings every couple of months. There's been like...
it's in Dayton, Ohio, right?
Yeah, there's been like 4...
I've been to Dayton.
Yeah, it's tiny in comparison.
Ohio is a garbage state. I'm just going to say that. Sorry if we have people that listen and you live in Ohio.
Ouch.
Sorry, but I'm going to say what I'm going to say. I don't know. Believe me, Ohio is notorious for... They got a lot of just, they ain't good. And all the people there ugly. I said what I said. I've been to Ohio. I've been to Columbus. I've been to Dayton. Been to Cincinnati. Y'all ugly.
If you're listening from Ohio, please call in.
I'm sorry.
Defend
I
your
don't care.
position.
I don't care. Because y'all know what? Y'all can't come get me. Because y'all don't know where y'all might try to come get me. Anyways.
Yeah,
so ugly.
You've got an alarm system. It's fine.
Yeah, I'm good for now.
Police Sergeant John Huber spotted a suspicious vehicle, which was the Dodge Shadow, and contained what he described as a potential gang. He ran a check on the plates and realised the plates didn't match. And this is where he kind of called for backup. He didn't just go in on his own. And 4 or 5 police cars surrounded this car. They jumped out and they apprehended them fairly easily. This is when you realise it was Laura who was in the driving seat when she told Morales to start firing on the cops.
Girl.
He said no, and he just handed himself in. But she was frantic, telling him to shoot the police. Which, for a 16-year-old girl to have that level of anger and rage is scary.
I've seen some Deadly Women episodes, which is a show that I quite enjoy. I skip past the mothers who kill their children because I hate that. But there's a lot of stuff on there. I don't know. Maybe you can't be like, she's not on her period. Like, I act crazy too, but like, I ain't shooting nobody.
No.
Don't blame it on that. This girl had some issues. I wish we could have known more about their home life, which was kind of hard to investigate, to be honest. I don't think I could really find anything. I don't know about you, but
I found a couple of bits, but it's
a little bit,
really
but not
sketchy.
enough to go into depth like we do with our normal cases of like Ed and Ted Bundy and shit. Like we know their history, but these kids were like, okay, we just want to kill people.
Regular listeners to this show will know we do not cover trials because they are boring. And let's be brutally honest, all you care about in the trial is how it turned out. That's all you want to know.
To sit through that shit. We don't want to. No.
Morales King was sentenced to death, a sentence that was carried out in the 21st July 2009 by lethal injection. He was 36 years old at the time of his execution.
I can't even imagine. That is like literally still living life at 36 years old.
It's such a waste of life, but his own fault.
Waste. No, it is his own fault. Yes.
The rest of the group, Laura Taylor, Heather Matthews and DeMarcus Smith, were sentenced to life in prison where they are still serving their sentences. In 2021, there was a change in the law in the United States around sentencing for minors for life and parole hearings. So she was granted a parole hearing as part of this. So basically they said, look, you can't sentence a kid to prison forever without giving them a parole hearing. You need to give them that. So every minor who was sentenced to life got a parole hearing. Laura's parole hearing apparently lasted less than 8 minutes, and they decided that she was not getting out and sent her back to her cell.
Well, she wanted to act like a big girl in that situation, then she can go sit her big girl ass in jail. Because, I mean, I'm pretty positive. I think that some people can be reformed, and I think that if they get the proper help, maybe they can be reformed, depending. But I don't think that these people gave a shit. And even the guy's last word, Morales' last words, when they ask him, before they execute you, that's the thing, they were like, any last words? And he's like, I have no words. He wouldn't say anything. He just did the lethal injection and killed him. And that was it. You've had 16 years in prison.
Yeah.
You had nothing to say. No remorse, nothing. Just.
Yeah. And this is one of the things they mentioned at the trial, that none of them showed any remorse. None of them showed any emotion. And they just sat there just going, yeah, this is what we done. We done this, then we done that. And there was
that girl would get out, Scott. If she got out, Laura got out, she would commit another crime. 100%.
I agree. Completely agree. We said we were going to look at the motives when we first started this episode. Well, honestly, there really isn't any motive, and that's what drives me wild. They decided one day to go on a killing spree.
It's I'm bored, bro.
These kids weren't they weren't the nicest kids. So they'd had run-in with police. They were badly behaved. They were all described as fairly average students, but they'd all around the same time become estranged from their families because of their bad behavior. Their families have kind of gone, you need to sort yourself out. And they'd kind of gone, well, fuck you, and just done their own thing.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that it doesn't. Being estranged from your family and being a bit of a bad kid does not necessarily mean you're going to go on and commit a violent crime. There are lots of people who go through that. There's lots of people who I know now that I work with, that I've met in life, who don't talk to 90% of their family. And they're really nice, well-respected people who had a couple of years where they went off the rails and they drank a bit and they
happens.
Were a little bit promiscuous and they've done a little bit of drugs. Yeah. They've come out the other side and they're fine. So it's not they had a bad childhood and instantly they become a killer. I can't wrap my head around it.
It's choices. If you ask me personally, I think that we're all given choices in our lives to be like, okay, well, you had a shitty childhood. Well, so did I. I grew up in an abusive home. Seeing my biological dad be abusive to my mother, but I'm not abusing people now.
No.
Some people it does affect differently. So not to sound ill-hearted, but it's if you know you have the issue, there are so many, there are resources to get help and things like that. But I know some people get affected differently. It didn't affect me in that way. I do everything. I live my life differently because I want to make sure that my kids never obviously have to go through any of that kind of stuff. Yeah. So it's different for me. I have I have that in me to not, and some people don't, and it affects them.
No. And so some people take that as a fuel that they want to, like you have. So they've seen that is their fuel to make sure that does not happen when they have their
exactly.
Children. And there's other people who will be bullied and degraded and beaten, and they will have the mentality of, I am going to become the most successful person I can to prove you wrong and to prove that I'm right, that I am something special. And some people take it and use it as a fuel, and some people, unfortunately, it does crush and it destroys. And those are the people who need to reach out and get help.
Yes, 100% you do. There's no shame in asking somebody for help. There is no shame in being weak-minded or having mental, there's nothing wrong with it. I look at it like that because everybody, I have had times in my life, I'm sure maybe you have too, where you feel depressed or anxious or whatever. And it's all about what you do with it. You can't go off and don't go hurt other people. Hurt people, right? That's the saying. But these kids, to me, Scott, I don't even know I can't even find any words because I never had, my children have never been like that. No. I've never had to go through having even a teenage girl, right, who's now an adult. She was never like that.
No.
I wouldn't know what to do with a badass kid.
No, if any of my kids were half as bad as
know.
I was as a teenager, I'd be absolutely lost. I'm really thankful my kids are well behaved.
I want y'all to know that I was not like that. I was perfect.
I wasn't.
I'm not joking. Ask my mama.
I wasn't. I was. Get in your head the stereotypical bad kid. That was me.
I already saw your prom picture, so I know what you was doing.
Yeah, I was bad. In questioning, none of these gang members explained any details as to why. They said things like, because we were bored, or they kind of like, so why did you do it? And they kind of shrugged and went, all right. And that's just insane. We've spoken about killers that have motives, like Dahmer. There's a trigger point that got him started, then he escalated in crimes.
Yeah.
With a spree killer, there's normally a tipping point. So when you see spree killers, like someone's wife left him and took his kids and emptied his bank accounts, and the next day he goes out and he rolls through the town in a tank, which is a real story, which is an amazing true crime story.
Yeah, I've heard. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I know.
There's a trigger point for that to happen. In this case, it's like Christmas Eve 1992. They got up that day and went, oh, let's go kill some random people. And I cannot wrap my head around why.
I don't think you'll ever. That's the thing that is a bitch about a lot of these cases. You'll get a motive for most of them, but like stuff like this, it's senseless acts of violence that we cannot understand, and we don't know why. It's ridiculous because you're like, dude, I've been that mad, right? I've been that angry where I'm like, fuck you, and I want to strangle you type of stuff. We all have intrusive thoughts, and I don't think there's anything wrong with intrusive thoughts. You don't act on them, obviously. But like we, as a human, we can't help it. Sometimes you're like, oh, fucking hate you. Go die. I'm not saying that you want that to happen. I'm saying intrusive thoughts are just thoughts.
Yeah.
But like if these kids, I don't know. I have no idea.
If you want to know more about this case, there isn't much about them. It's quite a small case. There's a documentary which is on the Oxygen Network, which is a true crime network, called The Six Slays of Christmas. And if you haven't got Oxygen, you can add it to your Peacock package in the United States. I think you can add it to Amazon in the UK.
I got that shit.
Yeah.
I got it.
There's also a book that came out in 2018 called The Christmas Killings, which was written by some of the detectives and police who worked on the case in 92.
Just Google it, guys. I'm not trying to interrupt Scott's beautiful speaking, but seriously, Google it, and most of the articles are going to tell you the same exact thing. If you watch the Oxygen documentary type thing, it's just going through, like, you'll see, like, them in court and stuff, because that's what they do. But it's very boring in essence, because it's like they don't give a fuck.
No,
there's
really
nothing
don't.
crazy that happens. Like they're just like, like whatever. So.
There's loads of YouTube videos on this as well, so you can go and search for those. Due to the lack of the content on this case, it's been really hard to investigate, and smaller, lesser crimes. Like I put this out to every social media, going, "Does anyone have anything to say?" And we got one comment where someone, "I have never heard of these people."
No, and I already knew. I think I told you that I was like, I'm not sure if I knew. Once I got to looking, I did remember hearing about this case. It just is so insignificant. Not insignificant, but the case is not something you really hear about. That's why there's only one documentary on it. It's not like the 500 on Jeffrey Dahmer, so to speak. There's 500 fucking different documentaries. They're all the same, but they're different.
Yeah, but this is something I don't quite understand. So this case is horrendous. It's a horrific case that happened over Christmas. And this does not get the same level of notoriety as other cases we've covered that aren't anywhere near as bad as this. And I don't understand at what point a true crime case becomes something that everyone wants to talk about.
Like sensationalized is what you mean. Because like Dahmer and Bundy and Gein and et cetera, Gacy, let's just go. Yes, I'm calling all the ones everybody knows. But those are sensationalized in the sense of like, you're still watching documentaries on them. To date, 2023, Dahmer series came out.
Yeah, but
even amazing. But
even if you look at some of the smaller cases we've done, like we done the Smiley Face Killers, even they have multiple documentaries, a movie made about them. How does a case like this, and how do like these school shootings and these killing sprees, how do they dip under the radar? Is it because they're not a polished serial killer? Is it just because it's just violence for the sake of violence? I don't understand, because I feel that this probably needs more attention than like a Bundy, because this is something that lessons can be learned from this.
No, I totally 100% agree with you. And I just want to basically blame Ohio. I'm not trying to be funny. It's kind of your fault. Like, there's a lot of garbage people that come out of, look, I personally know people that live in Ohio, or that have lived in Ohio, should I say. And they'll tell you the same thing, Scott. They're like, that place is a fucking cesspool of shit.
Is it just like a rough state then? Is that what it is?
I think that's what it is. Like, honestly, I'm sure there's areas that are not as bad, and I am kind of being a dick, but that's just how I am. I've had a little bit of wine, so it makes me a little more mean. But honestly, I don't want to go to Ohio. 10 out of 10, don't recommend. Don't go ever. Don't ever waste any air miles on ever coming to the States to go to Ohio. Come to Louisiana. You can visit me. Don't go to Ohio. I'm telling you, you'll be like this the whole time. Your eyes will be closed. You don't want to look at anybody. We have the prettiest people in Louisiana. It's like a thing. Like Southern women are supposed to be the prettiest. That's what they say. I don't know. Mean. Yeah. I mean. But
I'll be honest. The places I want to visit if I go to the United States is the Southern states.
Yeah, you want to, absolutely. You want to go to New Orleans, but bring your nose plug because it smells like cock-a-doo-doo.
Yeah,
it stinks there, bruh.
Yeah, that's top of my bucket list is New Orleans. And
that's like 5 hours for me.
Yeah, for Mardi Gras.
Gosh. Oh, Lordy, you gonna see lots of tatas.
That's me and Lisa. It's
you
on
should
both
do
of our
it
bucket
because
list.
put it up. Hey, you know what? The kids are getting older. One day, if you can plan it in the future, in the next couple of years, like wait till they get even older, they can stay with the grandparents. Do it. Bring Lisa. Bring her. Tell me, and I'll be like, I'm driving to New Orleans because it's not that far.
Yeah, New Orleans is up there. Also want to go and do Carnival in Rio de Janeiro. That's also on our bucket list.
I don't know anything about that fancy shit. I don't know what you're talking about.
It's just Mardi Gras, just in Brazil. It's Mardi Gras, but hot.
I'm not a big fan of Mardi Gras, honestly. Like, we live in northern Louisiana, so like southern Louisiana, where New Orleans is, that's where they really celebrate it. It's like a big thing. You have to try king cake. King cake is so good. I cannot deal with it. It's so delicious. It's something that they have. You'll try all the Creole, all the Southern delights. I'm not sure that you've ever eaten any of that food. You eat a lot of curry, don't you?
Yeah, I've had Creole before. I like Creole.
You like it? Do you eat a lot of curries?
I do.
I know y'all do.
Mm.
I like curries too, but we don't know how to make them here. So. Anyways.
We've gone way off track.
I don't know. I'm hungry. That's all it is.
That is a wrap for this case. And as I said, there's barely enough to fill a whole episode. So there's definitely not enough to fill extended cut. Don't panic. No. We have something up our sleeve. It's going to be a super fun Christmas episode. We're going to talk about all sorts of Christmas-related crimes and murders that will put you in the festive spirit. And it's on the 15th, so you can listen to it while you're decorating your tree or while you're having some mulled wine or mulled cider or
eggnog, because people like that. I do not like it. Do you like it? Do you like eggnog?
We can't get it over here.
Oh, well, it's okay. It's so creamy. It's so creamy and thick, and it has like, I just think it's disgusting. It's almost like if you have snot. I don't like it. I'm a textural eater. Like, if something is textures off, I can't eat it. But like, it's thick. It's super sweet. People put like whiskey or bourbon in it to spike it, but no.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like my cup of tea.
No, you wouldn't like it. It's gross.
I hope you have a fab December. Remember, be nice to each other. Go and do your Christmas shopping. Try not to get in a row with the Karen who's trying to take the toy you want. And remember, spending Christmas isn't about what you go and buy. And everywhere in the world at the moment is in some sort of cost of living crisis. Remember, Christmas is about spending time with family and friends and being together as opposed to just buying expensive shit. That's what really matters.
Scott, you're so sweet.
Yeah, I thought so. Anyway, we're back on the 15th. Heather, take us away.
Okay, guys, everything that Scott said. Scott, you really are like, did you have a cup of sweetness before you started? That was really nice.
I'm
Because you're
feeling
like
Christmassy.
Whoville.
Yeah,
You're feeling very Christmassy.
I'm feeling
yes.
very Christmassy.
I would say I'm going to agree with everything that Scott says. Like, you guys, Christmas is about spending time with your family, even if you don't like some of them. It's okay. It's okay. Still spend time with them. Shop online.
Yeah.
Avoid crowds. I recommend that for your mental health. Like, let's shop online. And shop small businesses if you can, because you're helping a mom and a pop. You're helping people to get their kids presents. Try to do that too. And guys, we can't wait for you to hear our Christmas episode. I'm so excited. It's going to be so much fun.
I am.
I'm drinking red wine. But until next time, hey, you guys, stay safe, stay spooky. See you later. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Where am I at? Oh, I'm back.
See you later.
True crime. True crime.
Bye.
True crime. Your true crime. You want the boring stuff? Shit. You in the wrong place.
I hear shots. Okay, ma'am, calm down. What kind of shots?
I was branching out. That's when the cannibalism started. Eating of the heart and the arm muscle.
People say Ted Bundy didn't show any emotion. There must be something in that. I showed emotion. You know what people said? See, you really can get violent and angry.
As long as I can reach in your mind and control your fear because you're a coward, I'm going to play any game and I can play on you all the way to the White House.
The cops knew who I was and let me become a serial killer.
Making me feel that they were a part of me.
Give me the fire department or the police or the paramedics. Somebody. I don't care. You decide.
Shots fired! Shots fired!
Well, we ain't like everybody else.